refrigerator. So basically, there's a flap that's inside here that open and close when the ice is dispensed. But the problem is, right now, it doesn't close properly. So you can see here in the hole, you can see a little gap. And you could also see around here all this frost, right? That's because the cold air is coming out and also the warm air is coming out. And on the refrigerator, believe it or not, because of the compressor location, there's actually hot air coming up this way, right? So this is where it meets. That's why you see all the frost. On top of it, it requires extra energy for the compressor to keep running because trying to keep the inside cool. So what I'm going to try to do is replace this so that the gap that you see in there will no longer exist. Okay? So I'm going to try to take this panel off. It's a pressure fit, so it should come up pretty easily. There we go. Then what we have to be very careful now is we gotta make sure we're taking off the right things, right? So let's just take a quick pick and get this off, okay? So I took off the first two, and I'm taking the last one off. Just gotta be careful because it's actually clipped inside. So the panel is completely off, right? So let's put it somewhere nice so it doesn't get damaged. Okay, next, I need to get into where the existing flap is, which is down there. So I have to take this housing off, right? So it looks like it's got a lot of wirings around it. So let's just be very careful how we take this off. I think mainly because it's got some lights on it. So I took away all the screws, as you can see, and that allows me to move the housing. You just gotta be careful because the red line that you see on each side is because of the little lights, lamps that's on there, underneath there, that helps to, show you like when the water is or ice is dispensed, and they come on and off automatically. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this housing, and I will show you the inside where the flap is. So I just removed the housing that was in there. As you can see, this is the water line. The problem is because this flap doesn't close all the way in, as you can see, the gasket is all warped as around it, so it doesn't allow it to sit it completely straight. So as you can see here, you see the frost, right? All the frost, again, that's because the cold air and the hot air is coming up through here and it's creating here. What I'm gonna try to attempt to do is remove this flap and replace a new one that just arrived today through FedEx, which is great, right? So the problem is, as you can see, there's a little drop, water drop that comes, and because of the cold air that's what's coming down, what it does is it keeps growing like a ice stick, like 뭐라고 하지 한국말로? 고드름이 내려오니까, so what it does, this is the water line, right? So it freezes the water line, which allows which blocks the water from coming out. So that's how we found out that this flap was not closing all the way. So that's the part that you move here is a solenoid. I don't know if you can see it clearly. So if this doesn't close all the way in, after replacing the flaps here, then the next thing to do is replace the flap, because that basically means the flap is not opening and closing all the way in. So I am removing the flap. Yeah, it's all moldy, so I'm gonna have to clean this up a little bit. I have to remove this. Okay. Yeah, this is actually a 10-year refrigerator, so this is what it looks like. As you can see, the flap here is all curvy, which does not make it sit flush against the wall to keep it closed. Okay, so this is the old one. Again, I'll show you, and this is a new one. Okay, so I'm going to put this one back to the holder and which is connected to the solenoid, which opens and closes whenever the ice is dispensed. Okay. So I cleaned up the part where the bracket is. You don't see any more molds. What you see here, the yellow part is just a styrofoam. It just acts like an insulation. So hopefully when we put the new part in there, the new flap, that it will keep it closed and nice sealed, so the cold air will not flow down here anymore. So I just replaced the flap. I just put it in. So as you can see, it sits very nicely tight on the bottom. There's no more warping around the gasket, so therefore it's sitting flush against the wall here. So I don't feel anything coming out right now. Any cold drift, I don't feel it. So hopefully this will take care of the issue. So basically this tells me that it was truly the issue was because of the gasket that was warped, not the solenoid. So we'll see, we'll give some time, and then if this works, for sure this will prevent from the water line from freezing. Okay, so let me try to put everything back together, and hopefully the machine will work as it was working before. All right. So this is our extra guest, Joshua Kim. Bonjour Joshua. Tu dis bonjour à tout le monde. Bonjour.
Hi.
Je t'aime. Tu es très gentil. Joshua est mon fils et il va m'aider à faire ça. Okay, so I have put the housing back in there. We did clean up some things. Our house was rented for 6 years, so I think the tenants who were using our house must have like spilled like iced coffee or something like that, because there was a lot of coffee inside. So we cleaned that up. Just be careful when you put the screws back on. There's 4 of them right here. Just remember, these are plastics and they are self-tapping. So what you don't want to do is screw too much and too hard and basically stripping the inside. So right now everything is holding very nicely and tight. So I think this is good for now. So I'm just going to try to put the the panel back after I reconnect, and we'll see. Let's see if this works. Go. So I'm just putting back, reconnecting the wiring, the same sequence. It's hard to take a mistake because you see how many they are different shape. Just one thing to notice, there is actually a fuse in there. I didn't notice that. So it's in case if there's ever power outage on this side, that's probably because of the fuse. Okay, so now the last, probably the most important part is putting the panel back together, and let's see if the solenoid and flap will work. Okay, so that one's in. Okay. So there's a good indication because you can see the green lights, so that means the power is back on, and at least the connection that I made, it seems to be working. And I just looked inside. It is sitting nicely. So let's see if the flap opens and closes. I'm just going to try this. Okay, let's listen if it closes. Okay, so it's closed. Let's see if it closed completely. Yes, it is closed completely. So it looks like at least that flap replacement part is successful. So let's see if the water works as well. This is the filter water with the filter water that's been iced. So toast. It is very refreshing. Thank you. Okay, so the part 2 is basically just like we replaced the flap. Now we are going to replace the dish right here, which catches basically the water that drips afterwards. As you can see, there's a little hose, and then after it closes, maybe a couple drops that comes off. So in order to do this, my special assistant, Joshua Kim, dis bonjour Joshua. Ok, Joshua Kim, il a 3 ans. Il va nous aider à remplacer le pièce qui est là-bas. Ok, Joshua. Go ahead, vas-y, montre-moi comment tu remplaces ça. Ok, tu enlèves. Oui, très bien. Tu mets ça en haut. Bravo, bravo. Avec 2 mains, s'il vous plaît. Comme ça, on fait attention. Bravo, yeah. 박수, bravo. Ok, Joshua, merci. Au revoir. Au revoir, Joshua.